Hello, welcome to the Extreme Gaming Podcast. This is episode 253 on November the 7th. My name is Trev, as always. Joining me this evening is a full panel, including
Great Gamer 25. We're all here, the Three Stooges, amigos, friends, something like that.
I'm going to say something worse than that. Who else is joining us?
Yeah, same. And it's myself, Matt, also known as Irish Guardian. How you all doing?
Lads, it's good to have you back, Mr. Matt.
Thank
I had
you.
to put up with Gray all by myself last week. It was very painful.
For him, not for me.
I can imagine.
painful for all involved. The main announcement of today is Happy Days. So Gray put down, so that's what I'm reading out. Happy Days, or Matt, I don't know. Someone
Happy
put it down.
days.
That song that was on for about 5 seconds, 10 seconds before the intro came in. That was a belter. I wish you just kept it going. I was jamming.
Yeah, I'm exhausted now. I'm ready for bed.
Yeah, that's the free music that we do.
Yeah,
that'd be a good find, Gray. You'll need to give me that after. Paperwork.
And the
Matt's
music.
saying, not Gray's. He can't use it. He's banned from using it. The paperwork out the way. Please, if you have not already, join our Discord. That's the best place to find out what's going on in terms of any gaming sessions we're put on, events, any tech questions you've got, any PC gaming questions you've got. You can ask us in there at discord.gg/Extreme Gaming Podcast. And who put Remembrance Sunday down? Who was it? For yourselves.
Huh?
Remembrance Sunday on the 10th. Wasn't me who put it down.
That was Matt.
Yeah. That was me.
It was Matt.
I was just putting it. I was just putting a thing in.
No, it's good. It's just I don't know who put it down, so put your name after. So no, it's a good shout, Matt. Remembrance Sunday, very important thing in the across the world, but especially in the UK. It's something that I take a lot of pride in, and always doing a 2-minute silence. Also, as well, for whenever they've got events on for the football for the troops, just a kind of, they have a Armed Forces Day every year at my team stadium, where we acknowledge the job they've done and stuff like that. So I love stuff like that, Matt. Thank you for putting that on the 10th.
Just curious, do you guys call it Veterans Day or no? What do you call it?
I mean, different
Remembrance
names, isn't
Sunday.
it?
Yeah, Armistice Day.
Okay.
So
we do Veterans Day. That comes the day after, on the 11th.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, here the veterans voted some years ago. A lot of times you see countries, including ours, everywhere. They move holidays to Mondays or Fridays, so that you have the 3-day weekend. But when they went to the veterans and said, "Do you want us to do the same thing?" They said, "No. November 11th is November 11th, wherever it falls. We do not want it moved just to a Monday or Friday."
That's what they should have done with the remnants.
And I think that's the only holiday other than like Thanksgiving and maybe
it changes.
That changes. Otherwise, nothing. Everything else is on the Monday Friday thing. So I thought that was
like that.
Cool. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah. Yes, Remembrance Sunday, very important. Veterans Day. The socials. We're all over the socials. There are a couple of exceptions. I will not do Snapchat. I will not do OnlyFans. Sorry, I asked Ray if he wanted to do OnlyFans Extreme Gaming Podcast. It wasn't up for it.
We could start up a new thing. Only gaming fans.
Yeah, people are paying me not to do it.
Oh, Matthew. On the socials, we're pretty much Extreme Gaming Podcast. Most places, with the exception of Twitter X, we're just Extreme Podcast there. And the most important announcement of the whole podcast of all time is rest in peace, RIP America, Gray. RIP America. Game over, man.
Goodbye, America.
Goodbye.
Nice knowing you.
Yeah, you went down
Give us
the
your
toilet
pancakes
first time.
and then you can go.
You went down the toilet first time. You managed to swim up like a spider to the top, and then you got flushed down the toilet again.
Well, I just want to let you know that that's actually not real. It's all been in a video game, and we're in a simulation. So there you go.
The Matrix, man. No, we don't talk about politics here, to be fair. I feel sorry for Greg because he lives in Florida So he's just like, oh no, he's just down the road from me. No.
I'm letting it roll off my back.
He's coming around for dinner.
It rolls off my back, and that's the end of that. But let's not talk about that anymore.
Nah, let's not. I just found it amusing, I have to say. We'll get straight in. We'll get quite a lot of content, as always. Gaming news for this week. Gray will kick it off.
Boom.
I'll kick it off as soon as I swallow and not choke.
That's what she said.
Choke quickly. Oh,
So
referee.
basically, the title of this article I found kind of speaks for itself. It says Ubisoft has finally had enough, I say, of the Assassin's Creed Shadows outrage.
Okay.
So basically, if you didn't know this already, you'd have to be under a rock not to know it. But when AC Shadows was going to come out actually it should have come out this month. There's been a lot of backlash on social media that said, well, you can't use the black character even though he was really a samurai. Why'd you do that? It's a slap in the Japanese people's faces and blah blah blah. And they used to come up with a million other little complaints or whatever. I'm not saying that somebody shouldn't say what they want to say. The thing that was interesting was that in past AC games, you never heard this kind of stuff, and you could have easily, because they're not really doing anything new as far as how they handle their characters and stuff like that. So, and so if you really go back and look, and I played all the games, so I'm sitting there going like, well, there's lots of things you could have said about the previous games too. So why everybody wanted to get on a bandwagon? I really I'm not trying to take a side or not, but the point is that since social media has gone off the rails, now it seems like that's the thing to do. What they are noticing, though, more and more and more, is that social media, where they used to think that was influential or extremely influential on whatever it may be, whether it's a game or a TV show or whatever it might be, now that they're really looking at the info and the statistics, they're finding out that the social media has very little to do with game sales as well as popularity of games, TV, movies, blah blah blah. So now they're altering their marketing plans without taking social media as seriously as they once did. So that's probably in the long run a good thing. So basically, Ubisoft is just kind of trying to just say like, enough is enough already. Let's just we want to just do a good game now. However, on the other side, there has been some constructive stuff in social media and other places, and that's been the fact that you guys, we're all here or feel the same way, that Ubisoft has basically become too samey and copy and paste and stuff like that. So that's fair criticism, I think. And part of the reasons why the game was pulled in November was because they saw how Star Wars Outlaws was not really ready and not done properly, and it tanked, and they don't want that to happen again because that would really hurt them. It's already hurt them bad enough. So they decided to wait, polish it up some more, release it, I think, in March now or whatever.
You can't polish a turd, though, mate.
Well, you can if you coat it in gold. I'll take a golden turd any day, man.
Mr. Gray, you have a checklist for the podcast, do you not?
Do I have a what?
Checklist.
A tick list?
Checklist.
Checklist?
Yes,
yeah,
because you forgot to change the title to 253.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
What I got to start doing is hang it right in front of my freaking face when I go on.
I know, it's like, what the thing is, right? See, behind the scenes, we actually do a lot of work in preparation. I might not have seen it, but we generally do, especially Gray. And then we're like, the shit we've just prepared, we forget to use it, or we think we don't need to use it, and they're like, oh no. Anyway,
there's always one that gets away.
We're getting better with that, but we're just human. But we are getting better with that. In fact, I was just editing the open that everybody saw at the beginning, where I put up, the Discord and the name of the episode. I just finished it before we came on.
Was it that tight, man? That's Gray does a lot of editing, guys. Listen, he's got editing software. He does the shiny version of YouTube. So if you're watching YouTube live, straight after we delete and remove that, because Gray puts up a video version a couple of days later, and we don't want a live version, a shiny edited video version, and an audio version. It's too much. Right. So he puts a lot of time and effort into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we stick with the audio for obvious reasons, and then we put the video, and that's it. That's really all, I mean, pretty soon we'll have plush dolls with our logo on them, and we'll sell the. No, I'm kidding.
Or what's the little characters with the bigger heads and the small bodies? What they called
Oh,
again?
the fat heads.
Bubbles.
The fat heads.
Yeah.
Fat heads. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. No, I think I'm gonna get a shirt for my dog and just let him run around, and I'm sure he can advertise this really well. Anyway, so point is that they have delayed the game to work on polishing it up, and we have all said in this podcast that, man, it better be polished up and pretty good. I can understand that even when it comes out, there still could be little things, but there should only be little things, that you can do in a hot fix real quick. So I'm really, their reputation is already getting kind of crappy, and their stock has dived, and they cannot afford not to come out with a good one. So that's that story. I thought was pretty interesting. Anyway, this next one is something that I've been talking about for many podcasts here, and that is how AI is affecting gaming in particular, although it's affecting like lots of things, and whether it's good or whether it's bad. The title of this article really tells you stuff that us three have been talking about, and I've been warning about, saying like, it's coming, man, it's coming fast and furious. The title of the article says, days after shutting its AAA game studio, filled with former God of War and Overwatch talent, Netflix announces a new initiative powered by AI.
Hi, Gaz. Just really quickly, I haven't seen the Gaz beard in ages, man, so I thought I'd say hi quickly.
It's been a long time.
Hope you're well, mate. AI, this is the AI corner now, isn't it? It should be a thing. Like the Gray's great. You've got a mod corner, so an AI corner may as well.
Yeah. I mean, it won't go away. The thing is, you can't ignore it. That's the thing. It's right in your face. But when I heard this...
That's what happened recently, Gray, wasn't it? The whole Trump winning thing, that wasn't real. That was AI. The whole thing's been...
Yeah.
It doesn't exist, so AI is good.
And this is just what we were talking about, and now it's starting to happen. And so as I started looking into the article to see what they're talking about, they said that they've come up with some truly novel game experiences, and this is all going to be powered by generative AI. And I'm like, okay, how much more are you going to replace? And so as I start reading into it, they're saying like, well, we're really, it's transformational technology, they said. Okay.
Those games are going to be shit, Gray. They weren't good before when they were actually in studios to make them. They're like really cheapy, crappy games. So AI, will it be worse or will it be better?
Well, if they were crap before, they're bound to be a little better, but I don't know. I mean, this is just scary because every time, we're not scary, but it's just like we said before, it's marching on. It's gonna come. Nothing you can do about it. So this is the first time that I've seen it actually pop up in mainstream all of a sudden. Using the technology to use old games and make them look new again, or is a different story, because that's not creating the game in AI. That's using AI to make the games look a hell of a lot better, which is fine.
It's different,
But now we're talking about actually changing it. So as I'm reading into it and stuff like that, they're saying the usual BS about, well, everything's going to be novel and it's going to be a surprise. It's going to delight everyone. It's going to inspire players. And I'm still reading, going like, when are you going to start talking about the creators of the games here, the people that are supposed to be put? And then it goes, this is a quote from this guy at Netflix or whatever. He goes, I am focused on creator first vision for AI. Okay. One that puts the creative talent at the center, with AI being a catalyst and an accelerant. So essentially what he's saying is that we're not going to forget the writers and the people that create the series. They're just going to use AI to make things, happen a little faster. And I'm sitting there going like, okay, we'll see.
So they're not creating the games from scratch then, solely with just AI in? Because I don't think AI is actually capable of writing a game from scratch yet.
Right, they're not going from scratch. They will eventually. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah, eventually, mate.
And it'll happen in less than 6 months, I predict.
Come on, right. I know you think things are going fast, mate, but I mean,
maybe a year.
Come on,
maybe a year.
Maybe, yeah.
You'll see. I think it's going to be sooner, but anyway. So
I've got a feeling that it's going to be.
Yeah, look, if they're serious about what they said, and they do have the creator keeping his vision, keeping his writing, keeping everything together, and they truly are using AI to maybe do all the graphic work and blah blah blah, the artwork or whatever, fine. I mean, we don't want to see people lose jobs, but those people that either might lose their jobs or already has seen the handwriting on the wall before this happened. They know.
Great. Where could you, or both of you, where could you perceivably see AI being used then without people losing their jobs? I can only see a couple of places right off the top of my head, and that's one that we're seeing already at the moment, which is PSSR, which I'll be getting onto in a bit, DLSS, FSR, and things like that. That's one method of it at a lower level, and also as well, there was talk of Sega, was it either Sega or Kojima doing a big game involving the cloud and stuff, and they were talking about NPCs actually being tied into artificial intelligence so that you don't go up and they're not like mindless automatons from Star Wars Outlaws.
Right,
Yeah, I see the Outlaws. Shit AI. So that's where I see it. Do you guys see it in the same place or other places?
I'm hoping for that, to be honest. I'm hoping that it's more to do with the NPC side, storyline, to improve that bit as well as the graphics. Because there's a lot that needs
Can't
a
hear you,
lot of
Matt.
polishing. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, you're better now.
Oh.
You got to come right up to the mic, dude, or we can't hear you.
See, when you speak soft, it doesn't pick it up because of a setting you need to turn on or off. I can't remember.
No, he's eating the mic.
So eat it, get it inside you. Come on,
Matt. Say what you
all
just
it
said
needs is a bit of hot
before.
purr.
Say what you said before because that was important. Go ahead, but just be closer. Yeah.
I can't remember what I said.
You said what do you think it's gonna make NPCs talk to you and bitch you out?
Yeah, so it gives you a bit better interaction, more in-depth gameplay, and graphically as well. I think it'd be great.
I think what I would like to see is, a lot of games that you go in that because we all like to explore in our games.
Yeah.
So you'll explore and you go walk right up to an NPC like you're an inch from his face, and they just act like you're not there. Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to see one of them just go, "Hey, back off," or something.
Or walking into walls.
Exactly.
Good old GTA thing. Yeah.
But the better games though, what they do is they notice when you're getting close, and like an Assassin's Creed, for instance, and they all just go, "Hey, get out of here," and at least there's some reaction there. But this could actually be really interesting because it could be a guy that basically is never going to say anything unless you get in his face. And if you get in his face, imagine what you could do if you wanted to really clown around with the game, with the person that's playing the game. He could either say something simple like "get out of my face," or he could just punch you.
Yeah,
outright. He just punch you or stick you with a sword or something. You just go, "Man, I guess I shouldn't have bothered him."
That's it. Or does it Karen?
It's gonna be kind of like the what is it, the Queen's Guard, right? Where they just sit there in their hat and they don't move.
The Queen's dead, mate.
Pardon?
The Queen's dead.
King's Guard.
The Queen's dead.
I'm sorry, I forgot. That's because why.
It doesn't bother me, but I find it
amusing. She was around for a long time.
Yeah, she's like your mum. She's been around so long that everyone's used to that. Yeah.
So it would be kind of interesting. I saw those kind of little things like that. I think might be cool, and stuff. So just to do something wild,
I like the NPC side of things. That whole thing that Kojima's got going with Sega at the moment. Is it Sega and I think Sega are working on an open cloud game as well, and Kojima and Microsoft using Azure. And I find that fascinating because so much stuff's getting moved to the cloud anyway. Compute power in the cloud.
Cloud's the way.
Cloud gaming. So I think using the power of a console natively and the cloud and really good broadband connection, you could have a brilliant game. You could have brilliant AI with NPCs, with server farms powered by RTX 5090s that don't even exist yet, but they'll exist soon. We'll get into that. And an AMD super duper 3D cache chips. Man, I can't wait. Bring it on.
I think what I'm waiting for is all the different things we've been talking about that AI could do, will do, whatever. And that's like if you have a 4000 series card like I do, the way AI is moving along, I know it sounds a little silly, but you may not even need another video card because some of this stuff can be done through AI at a much lower cost and a much lower power threshold.
Or a lower strength card, mate, a less powerful card, because without this like DLSS and stuff, that does make it a lot. You can get away with running a cheaper card, but they need to find a way for you to make money. So
Hey, look, people out there that are working off 3000 series cards, 2000 series cards are really happy lossless scaling ever came out. Now they're like playing at great frame rates, and stuff that they can't do because the DLSS is not going to work properly unless you have a 4000 series. So these people are like all happy now.
That's part of the reason I upgraded. That and the bloody peer pressure from you two and Hans. Still not over. I'm still speaking to my shrink about that one. And also because it was game changing, the DLSS 3.0 and up. That was a game changer because it's phenomenal technology. Okay, Mr. Gray, are you finished? I've now dubbed it AI Corner.
I was looking at the notes and I'm going like, what the heck changed? And
what's
I go like,
what's he done? Mr. Gray, can you do me a favor? Because I'm in the middle. My PC's almost set up, hence why I'm on the Mac again tonight. Can you do me a favor and roll the clip from Cyberbrace, our friends over at Cyberbrace? I've got a new shiny clip, one of which, I don't know if you've got both up, if you've got the new fancy actual ad, or you've got the one that's tied in with Extreme Gaming Podcast. Either or's fine, mate.
Okay, I'll
smash it in. Now. Go on.
Yeah, everybody be quiet. There you go.
Oh, that is a Cyberbrace, ladies and gents. It is something coming very, very soon to Kickstarter. We're working with the guys over at Cyberbrace to promote this. This was aimed at the visual people because we have some ads where there is a voice, a lady talking in the background, but this one's more visual. And it's just showing off the shiny version of the Cyberbrace. Essentially, a little device that would hold up your graphics card, which we've all seen before. But the difference with this one is it's got a little LCD display built into it that plugs into your PC and turns it into a smart display. So you can literally almost throw anything at that figure stat-wise. We're looking at things like CPU clocks, temperatures, cycles, all that stuff. Gray, by chance, do you have the Extreme Gaming Podcast one that was given to us?
No, I didn't upload that one because that one was more for socials.
I know, but maybe next week we can run it because it is brilliant. What the guys have done there, they're working with us to tie both brands together. And you basically, on the little display, you're actually watching us back in a podcast, which I thought was bloody cool. I was like, yes!
We're talking right underneath your GPU.
I'm in my own PC. Look, I've managed to fit...
I'll try to see if I can upload it and show before we're done.
Yeah, I've managed to fit Gray inside my PC and Matt where they belong, right under my nose.
Right, that's right.
Excellent.
Well, I'm glad you said under the nose. Woo.
By the way, I wanted to make sure we covered a couple of comments in the chat, so I'm going to put one of them up right now.
Please.
Remember how Bitcoin works? This is from Gasbeard. By co-opting your GPU when your PC is idle. Now hover that over Win11, and the new web browsers all have AI support in them. That's true.
Is he trying to say that's what? It is AI, or?
He was just making a point of how you were able to do things like when Bitcoin was. I even was involved in some of that way back. I had my computer actually working on mining and stuff like that, and that's when I could actually make a little bit of money. I didn't make anything huge, but I did make a little bit. Then everything crashed, and you can't make jack out of it, so I just stopped everything at that point. But he was talking about how web browsers are getting involved in AI, even in the web browser end of things.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
AI apps inside the browsers and stuff. We had another Gasbeard, I think, said something else I thought was kind of funny. He goes, "I'm just a poor man with a 1080. Spare me my life for my monstrosities."
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like Queen. No.
Hey, look, 1080 is whatever one of the greatest cards NVIDIA ever made. The price was right.
I love that card.
It was a big leap, but I had it. I got it.
I had one too.
Did you not have the TI? Boys, I thought you had.
Yeah, I had the overclocked one. I had the overclock.
I had that big beast. Yeah. I had that big Zotac one that I got from Nick back in the day. Like, remember, it was a chonky boy. It was a 1080 Ti. I loved that thing. And then I sold it to Trub. Remember? I sold it to Trub. And Trub gave it to his granddaughter. I think it was his grandson. And I'd like to think that that's just been passed down from generation to generation. It's still going.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Still rolling.
It is a good card.
What I will do, Gray, is I'm going to crack on with the first bit of tech news. If you want to, if you can, in the background, upload that other clip because I think it's a belter and I do want to show that off to the peoples.
It's a belter, like from Expanse?
Yeah, belter. Yeah, belter.
He is a belter.
We are belter. The first thing is a bit of a small kind of yet serious issue at the same time, which I wouldn't expect to hear from NVIDIA. This is something that just cropped up a couple of days ago. NVIDIA tells users to urgently update their GPU driver to fix eight highly severe vulnerabilities. Have they been sleeping with Intel or something? Like, because that's all the way you get all these STDs, man. Jesus Christ. These are things that were spotted recently. NVIDIA are saying basically update your display driver as soon as possible. And it's affected a bunch of things, RTX cards, Quadro cards. They're the ones for professional like CAD designers and whatnot. Tesla products, what the hell are they? That must be server-related stuff. And if they're not patched immediately, could lead to unauthorized attacks on users' PCs. This is something I usually update as soon as something comes out. I tend to not really do betas much, but if they bring it out, I will usually update straight away because it's important. I won't get into the nitty-gritty about the exact issues that are wrong with it. All NVIDIA really said is, at the moment, it can result in remote code execution, denial of services, escalation of privileges, information disclosure, and data tampering if not addressed. That's all, boys. That sounds like nothing.
Oh, yeah,
that sounds like
cyber herpes. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Please clip that shit. Oh, that is clipped. Done. Cyber herpes. You're going to be. I meant to say that. Speaking of cyber herpes, you do have more light in your face. No, but you do look like Casper the Ghost. You look whiter. You look so white, man.
I am white.
Are you dead?
His camera.
What have you done? What have you done?
It's been like that since he came on.
No, he changed his colour. There you are. You get colour in your face. What did you do?
Make yourself purple or blue now while you're at it. No, only kidding.
Oh, come. Fine.
You want to do it.
No, RGBs. Did you change the colour of the warmth of the light? Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You look good now, Matt.
Yeah, you look like you're alive, more or less.
I know. I think I put this on my profile now.
Oh, L'Oreal, because it's worth it. Mr. Gray, we're going to run the clip or do we carry on?
Hold on. I'm making sure I got the right one.
Yeah, all good. I mean, Gray does his editing skills and stuff anyway, so...
He does.
He does, yes.
Takes a while, but he does it.
Coming. Look at that. Look at that, man. Look at us.
That's brilliant.
Here we are.
Ooh. I'm dead sexy.
I'm getting one of these.
Just for this alone, right?
Yeah.
Look, watch your favorite podcast live, of course. Look at that. He's even got the whole thing up from Spotify.
I love it.
Great.
Want to grab yourself a Celebrate? Go to Kickstarter.
Don't bet.
Oh, a little bit of selfless promotion. Don't mind if I do.
Cool, huh?
Thank you to the guys for Cyberbrace. That one was more like if you're wanting to see this because you couldn't really hear anything, just see it. Because we take the YouTube live off, we delete it afterwards. The only place to actually watch a VOD back is Twitch. We've kept that in place. The only thing with Twitch is you've got to be a subscriber on that to watch the VODs. But if you really want to, you can go back there. And it'll be on our Discord somewhere as well. We post that on the socials as well.
Well, when I do the editing on the video version of this on YouTube, it will have it in there.
Yeah, he makes it shiny.
Yeah.
Gorgeous!
But yeah, no, we do. The reason we keep promoting that one as much as we do is because we love the product.
Yeah,
we're not going to plug something that we don't like because
and they paid us too.
Did they? No, they're promoting us and we're promoting them. See, scratch my back, scratch your back.
50-50. Yeah.
No, but we believe in the product more importantly. It's coming out very, very soon. Best thing to do is actually just go to their website, the Kickstarter website, and literally just type in Cyberbrace, and you will be able to click on a notify button, and it'll tell you when it goes live, and you get an early bird price as well. So, what more could you want for?
I've done that, and I keep going every day anyway, just to check up on it.
So do I a few times
I'm just
as well.
I kind of go on there.
Well, the early bird, Matt, the early bird does not get the worm. The early bird actually gets a Cyberbrace. So, what more do you want?
That's what the worm needs.
That's what the worm needs. Right. So we'll crack on some more hardware news. So, boys and girls, ladies and gent, children of all ages. Sorry, I was doing a degeneration.
Oh, that's better. Look at that.
Weird. Oh, there he is. Oh, it's hard. Move it back.
Brilliant. That looks perfect. Perfect. Oh, I love it.
You're gone completely now.
I love it. Stay there. Stay there. Yeah, and here it is.
Yeah, now you're gone. Special. You're just gone now.
And this is where PlayStation should be.
No, we don't want to see me. We want to see what I'm holding, my friend.
Yeah, I know, but it's making you disappear every time you do it. Try moving back. Try moving back. Try moving back farther and see if it'll.
Put your hand in front of it.
Nah, it doesn't work. It's because
it doesn't work.
It's not going to work because it's black. It's the PS5 Pro, boys.
It is the stealth PS5.
Oh, one at a time.
Well, I was going to say, seriously, when you get a chance, take a picture of it to show that it's you that has it, right? And then I'll drop it in on the edit. It'll look good then.
Yeah, Gaz is loving it. He's like the stealth PS5. It's the new special edition.
Guys, I think so. Just you be quiet down there, lad, my lad. Old you cocky son of a gun that you are. It is the stealth version, £700, and it doesn't actually exist. It's that stealthy.
Disappeared straight from the bank. Boom.
Right.
You can't actually tell you have it in your hands. You actually can't even tell if you're playing it. Can you imagine if the controller?
It's me strangling Gray.
Yeah, it's a new PS
was invisible. If the controller was invisible, we'd be going.
Boys, we need to stop interrupting each other.
You might as well have a Wii.
We're better than that. Right. Come on. Right. We'll crack on. We've got a lot to get through. So we are.
Crack. What are you talking about?
I'm going to.
Yeah, it's a PS5. How can you forget the name now?
I'm inviting Trump round to your house, Gray, for dinner. You're screwed.
Wait, explain to me, Trevor. Why didn't they just call it the Pisser 5? That would have been much better.
No, we'll talk about that. Pisser. They're AI. We're talking about Pisser. Don't get me started on Pisser. The PS5 came with stealth cloak. Gets a Harry Potter cloak for pre-ordering, so it makes it invisible. We do have some PS5 news to talk about. To be fair, the specs were leaked several days ahead of time because the problem is, see, when a piece of hardware comes out, it's almost impossible to keep it secret until the last possible minute. The only way you could do that is releasing them online via PlayStation Direct only, but you were able to order them from third-party retailers as well as PlayStation Online. I ordered mine online. They didn't sell out, so it's either the interest is not the same. I mean, they are expensive, Matt. They are really expensive for what they are. but also maybe they made enough of them. That's part of the rumor why Switch 2 is taking so long to come out. One, the Nintendo want to make sure they've got plenty in stock so there's not scalpers and everyone can get one. And two, so they can work in the first-party titles to make sure they're ready. It might just be the same with PlayStation, to be fair. So the specs come out recently. Nothing too mind-blowing, although one interesting thing was these consoles usually have, is it 12 or 16? I want to say 16 gig of RAM, right? Which is fine for a console. That's kind of norm. But it had a separate chip. So it had its 16 gig there, and then it had a 2 gig chip separately. So it's actually like 18 instead of 16. Now, that is very useful because the 2 gig, so before when you had 16 gig, that had to run the system OS. I had to run the background tasks, the networking. I had to do everything, including gaming. So you've only maybe got about 11 or 12 to the developer to actually work with. But when you bring out a 2 gig separate chip for all that for memory, you can put all the OS and system stuff onto the 2 gig chip, and you can let the developer have most, if not all, of that 16 gig that's left. So you're laughing. And that helps for, as we know, the consoles are SoCs, system on a chip, so graphics and the CPU and everything are on the one chip. The RAM as well. The RAM as well is usually unified RAM, so it's used across the board. So literally now the developers can basically get more resolution out of it. When you're starting to game at 4K, you need more RAM to hold that in place, and that really helps for that. So I found that interesting. That's really, really going to help. There was 2 articles on the PS5. This kind of blew my mind ever so slightly. I didn't think it was possible. The game First Descendant, which is a free-to-play game, I think. And
it is, yeah.
It is, I've not played it yet. There's so many games to play. It's a bit of a rip-off of Destiny, people are telling me. But what those guys and gals over there are doing, they combined PSSR, PSR, and FSR, AMD FSR. They combined 2 AI upscaling techniques together. I didn't think that was possible. How the hell does that work? That blows my mind a little bit. They don't go into specifics on how it works, but they said FSR has a few kind of limitations in terms of artifacts and ghosting and whatnot when it's doing its thing, because it's one of the weaker versions of the AI upscaling. So they decided to mix it in with PSR just to smooth it out a little bit. And it's basically using the PSSR and FSR frame generation, because bear in mind, AMD FSR can actually do frame generation as well as DLSS frame generation, although the NVIDIA stuff's the best at that. PSSR doesn't have frame generation. Not yet. It's maybe something it will get. But it's actually combining the 2 techs together to, bless you, to do a really, really good job.
He's not sneezing, but go ahead.
It sounds pretty fascinating to me that they can actually do both of these together. Have you boys ever heard of such a thing before in AI upscaling?
I think what's funny is now that you have Pisser and FSR, you basically have Pisser Fisser. So.
Oh my god!
It's above the list.
I'm going to have to mark that. I'm going to have to mark that clip.
Man can't control himself. It's bad enough I'm laughing. He's freaking out. By the way, did you look under my name there, Trev?
I tried.
Gaming is the pisser.
Yeah.
Great
I wrote
Monsters.
that. You didn't see it. You
spelled grey wrong. You still spelled grey wrong. Oh,
no,
that's it.
So when I changed it, he started cracking up. That's why he was laughing so much, because he just saw it all of a sudden.
See, I didn't have it on because I'm on the one screen, the Mac. I literally was reading through the article when I was talking a moment ago there. So I just heard it sounded like him sneezing. It's him just being a big idiot, isn't it?
Oh boy.
Which is amusing.
PSR and FSR. It's like PSR, but with a lisp. Or if you're drunk. Yeah.
Speaking of being drunk, man.
We're bad now, man.
How much of the old red wine you had, son, man? Jesus Christ. He's got a red nose.
It's the Baileys.
It's the Baileys.
That's a good one. You know I'm clipping all that crap. It's going to be going up on YouTube.
And the thing is, Gray, I've been marking these clips as well, so you may have duplicates. Better duplicates than nothing.
That's what she said.
It kind of goes along with the name you're using there, Trev. Biggest Dickus, because remember when in Monty Python he did it with a list too. He goes,
yeah, that's it. Yeah. What's so funny, Biggest Dickus?
So now he's gonna go,
and then he's going. It's hilarious. For those that are listening to the audio podcast, that is, we can put names for our benefit and anyone watching live. And I'm Biggest Dickus. And they've got boring names. What can I say?
I couldn't think of one.
Gazbeard, console plus RAM made for sheeps. What?
Yes. Sci-fi about sheep.
Guys, you crack me up, man. Right,
okay. Sheep Wales, wasn't it? Sorry, yeah.
We will and the north of Scotland. We will crack on to something that will even give you even more chuckles, Mr. Matt.
Wait a minute.
And I do generally chuckle at this because Intel, the guys that are going up in flames, are about to unveil next month their next GPU, and it's titled the Battle Mage, right? And it's supposed to offer, quote, brilliant game-changing performance. Now, I mean, I don't know if the jokes have stopped, boys, or they're still going, but it looks like Intel are still carrying on the jokes here. I can't see them challenging at the top end. They seem to think these new high-end GPUs are going to smash out the park. They can't even do the bloody CPUs without them being amateurish or melting or corroding.
Didn't Intel already do this? And we even read a story out.
Not the high-end, mate. Not
I agree, but
entry-level nonsense.
But they did say a story that they weren't going to make them anymore. We covered that weeks ago. They said they were not going to make GPUs anymore.
But they are. You're maybe right, but maybe it's maybe hearsay and rumors as well, and maybe this is the last of their pro. Thing is, these things are in research for years before, so this might have already been in the pipeline. They're not going to bring it out because they'd probably lose a lot of money.
Well, the other reason could be too is that any kind of press, good or bad, is still keeping the name Intel out there. But
True.
We'll really see if that happens. I personally think with the money they've been losing, and I'll talk about it later. I don't understand why they would even venture to try that at all. But
yeah, we do have some interesting Intel and AMD news that Grace will cover in a little bit as well, which I found interesting. The thing with this GPU with Intel is more or less stay in your lane. And that's ironic because the lane they're in is so far far off the beaten track that it may as well be a B road. It's going to be using the 4 TSMC's 4-nanometer process and feature up to 32 EXE2 cores. I mean, whatever the hell that is, that's how uninterested I am in their cards. 16 gig of memory. A 256-bit bus configuration.
Wait! 16 gig of what? VRAM?
VRAM, yeah.
That's not high end anymore.
No, I know it's not.
But they just said they're doing high end. That's not high end.
No, but you could possibly, depending on the actual card itself, get away with that being high end. That might be the beginning high end kind of card if you want, Gray. Because I would say 16 gig and above is you're starting to look at, I would say mid-range cards between 12 and 16 for VRAM, and then like 16, 18 gig and above tends to be your high-end cards. 16 gig will probably be the 5080. See when the 5080 comes out? I reckon that'd be 16 gig. So I think that's more normal, and you realise. So yeah, it's rumoured to be released next month. They have 3 cards in the market that will be coming out, and on paper they look good. We don't know. We've got one price on one card, $349 for the cheaper of the.
You guys want to take any predictions on how many of these things are going to sell?
There won't be many. I mean, they done well at low and mid range, but I mean, AMD can't challenge at the top end. So what makes Intel can't bloody make a card without it either being underwhelming or bloody oxidizing or whatever's going on with it, melting.
It's probably made out of lead.
Yeah, that'll melt really easy when it starts to heat up.
Yeah.
The only thing I can see them making a GPU is kind of what you just said, Trev. If AMD's not making the high end ones anymore, which they're not, Intel saw a vacuum in the market, so to speak, and they're gonna make their own to fill that space.
Yeah, I mean, Gaz got a good point as well. Sorry,
that's if they can get out of the trouble they're in. I mean, basically, if they're gonna make a GPU, and like you said, on paper it looks good, they're gonna be selling the paper. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Well, Gaz, do you want to bring up Gaz's point about Intel, Mr. Gray? Because that will lead Gray onto a nice segue about Intel and AMD and the shenanigans going on there. It's his second last comment, Mr. Gray.
This one's a good one. Console plus RAM made for sheeps.
I said that 10 minutes ago, man. Keep
on, Gaz.
It's the Intel one. Yeah. So that leads us on to Mr. Gray's article, which I found interesting. Take it away, Mr. Gray.
Oh, yeah. Well, Matt's supposed to go next.
Go on, you go. My apologies.
Well, if we go Gray.
We have to hold people in suspense. No, we have to hold people in suspense. They have to hang in there. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Matt. You're talking about Apple M4.
I'm interested in this stuff, Matt, so go for it.
All right, cool. So, we know Apple's got its new M4 processor out, and it's now got a launch for new devices. One of them that I'm interested in is the new Mac Mini. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mini computer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How small is it going to be?
It's about 5 inches.
It's tiny. She said. Sorry.
Yeah, she did.
And the screen is only 2 inches, so it's going to be really hard to see.
Yeah.
Go ahead. All right.
So these are included with the new Macs and MacBooks, iMacs as well. So with the Mac Mini, they refreshed a 14 and 16 inch for the MacBook Pros. Sorry, there you go. These new models have come with improved performance and features such as Thunderbolt 5 connectivity, because that was quite lacking in quite a few.
Do you know why that's important, Matt? Thunderbolt 5, because see Thunderbolt 4, it wasn't quite powerful enough to run an EGP from it. It would always get throttled. Now you're running 210 watts of power plus, was it 80 or 90 gigabits or something? It's mental.
Yeah, it's huge. It's brilliant.
One cable.
Yeah. To rule them all.
To rule them all.
So there you go.
I popped up on the screen. Did you see what Gaz said? He goes, Mac Mini. Is that a Big Mac without cheese?
Big Mac with it is. It is. Pretty much the standard Macs now, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. So the M4 family of chips, you have the base model, which gives you the 10-core CPU. So you got your 4 performance cores and then the 6 efficiency cores on top of that. And the 10-core GPU. And so it's supposedly 1.8 times faster than its predecessor, the M1.
That's decent.
It is pretty good. So the M4 Pro, this model includes a 14-core CPU. So it gives you the 10 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores on top of that. And it goes up to 20-core GPU there. So it's a lot better. There you go. From the so if you got a lot of tasks, you got to run a lot of stuff, including designware. This thing, I think, should be able to.
Matt, the perfect example of this was in the Mac Mini. which came out, and this thing's so small, but it packs a punch, and you get it in M4 and M4 Pro.
That's
I really
right. You
hope
only
we get them in
at 2. Yeah.
I hope we get them in at work soon, because I've got the Mac I use at the moment is a 14-inch Mac M3 Pro. So I hope we get the M4 Pros in, because that's a nice little machine, man. I must admit. If I didn't have a work Mac that was so good, I would get a Mac Mini, I think, just for editing stuff, because they're
gorgeous.
really nice.
It is. Yeah. Well, we used to have a Mac Mini at work that we used that I used to unlock and set up iPads, Macs.
What one? Was it like an M1 or something?
Oh, it's an old one. Yes, yeah.
Oh, is it Intel?
Old. Yeah. It was terrible. It's gone. It's disappeared from the building completely. So I do mention it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you put it on eBay, did you? Mm-hmm.
No, I wish I did. Actually, I'd have it right next to me if it was, because I think Zakaboy loves
serial number 5
Minimax as well.
6, 5, 4. No, only kidding.
Yeah.
Apple doing a great job with their silicon, to be fair. Listen, who would have thought we'd be talking about Macs? We never used to speak about Macs or consoles, but it's all gaming tech. Their games are a lot better.
On it still. Yeah, so you can play Snake a lot quicker.
Snake. Their equivalent of back-end tech is Metal, and not that kind of Metal, Matt. They use that as their transition layer, and it makes actually some decent games. I wish they took gaming more seriously, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's still quite limited on the games front.
It is.
Yeah, unfortunately. So the third one is the M4 Max, which is a sexy little beast. It's a top tier, which offers 16 core for the CPU. So that goes up to 40 core for the GPU. So it's the highest memory bandwidth and is designed for the most intensive workloads. So that would be my baby. If I was able to have that, that'd be it. But unfortunately, the Mac Mini only has the 2, which is the M4 or the M4 Pro, unfortunately.
Yeah, because it's the size of it, Matt. If you see it couldn't handle anything bigger. And then I don't know if you're going to
give it 6 inches instead. Then
I'm not even doing
the 5. Get rid of the 5. Go on.
You do know this isn't in your notes, so apologies if you're going to mention it. But it's heavily rumored that next year, some point, maybe early next year, the M4 Ultra will be announced. Now, the last Ultra we had was it the M1? I think it was the M2 Ultra, and basically that's two Max chips slammed together, and it's a beast. But the problem is that's only on the studio, studio and their high-end machines, because it costs so much and it needs so much cooling. That will be a beast when it. In fact, the M4 Pro or M4 Max is the single fastest chip at the moment. Can you believe that, boys? Over anything, over AMD, even Intel. You
gotta read that. Read what Gaz just put down there.
I did as well. Yeah, I compare.
That was a good one.
About the memory bandwidth.
Oh man, that's a good one, Gaz. Keep them coming.
He did, didn't he? Actually, I kind of glossed over that, but I think he did actually say that.
I couldn't help it. Was it great?
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
By the way, I was thinking if the Mac Mini comes up with like their own version of PSSR and all that stuff, they could call it CHSR, and then it'll be Mac Cheeser. See?
Cheese.
Yeah. You think? I would do that. If I was them.
It'd be bigger than anything from McDonald's, that's for sure.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah. Maybe $1.50.
Yeah.
Apple Intelligence, Mr. Matt.
Yeah,
I'm not finished yet.
Oh, there's more M4s.
Yeah, there's shitloads. I'm sorry.
He's not talking about.
So this is going through the performance and performances and features. Yeah. Ooh.
So go ahead, M4 and
I'll yourself. Yeah. So with the advanced technology built using the second generation of the 3 nanometer, I said it. Technology. The M4 chips are more powerful, efficient, and offer better performance, as we know. Graphics, the GPUs in the M4 family are twice as fast in ray tracing compared to previous generation. That's always a good sign. The memory, unified memory bandwidth is increased by up to 75%. Supporting, so that supports larger language models and other demanding tasks, which is fantastic if you're into doing movie stuff like my brother in America is. So it also
you got
has
brother in America. Whoa.
Yeah, I do.
Whoa.
Yeah, Peter Flynn, who does his stuff. He does directing for
Where's he?
his documentaries. Boston.
Oh, you
There you
need
go.
to send me that, because you sent me the clip and I thought it was pretty darn good. I want to see the whole thing.
Yeah, so do I. He's supposed to be coming over to London to show it at the movie museum over this side, probably in February. I think it is January, February. So he's hoping that they'll accept that and he'll come over. So that'd be fantastic.
Good.
So I'll see if I can throw some clips your way as well. And I know on the live nights they actually film it. Not film it. They show the film and they stream it as well for 24 hours. So
really?
drop that
Cool.
into you. Yeah. So, including with the M4 chips, it includes the Apple Intelligence, which goes into this other thing that I've got down there because I've tried this thing where I am.
It looks like this. Like Siri goes round it. I'm signed up in the beta 18.2, and it's available for the UK.
Is it? My one says nope.
But no, Matt, you have to go to your settings and sign up for its beta updates. iOS 18 public beta 18.2.
Is it only going to work on the 16?
No, 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, and the 16 series
onwards. Yeah,
I got a 14 Pro Max.
Peasant.
Yeah. So what I found with I'll do that.
That is.
Yeah. So with that, the M4 chips are optimized for Apple's AI features, making tasks like writing tools and smart replies faster and more efficient. I still have to see that. Yes, I believe. Yeah, Gaz, I think you got it there on the nail. And I'll go into that with my next bit where Apple Intelligence is on there. So also battery life for the new MacBook Pro models. The M4 chip promises to give you a 24 hours of battery life, the longest ever in a Mac.
Like non-stop,
I tell you what,
like non-stop, brilliant.
Yeah, but even with laptops, Windows laptops, it's only lasted 4 hours, if that, depending on how you use it, what you use. So it'd be interesting to see if that can actually uphold on the Mac side. If it is, I might try.
Hey man, I got to ask you a question about Apple Intelligence.
Me too.
I heard that there was some issues with it not long ago at all, where it was not correctly doing something. I forget, but
no, yeah. So I tried it before, including on my phone, and it was a headache. It told me to say a few phrases to help out, and every time I said something, didn't understand that. And it just kept doing that. It wouldn't give me any correct replies. Only thing it would do was say, "Oh, here's what I found on the web. Have a look." And I was like, "That's not intelligence. That's just Siri."
It ties in with ChatGPT, and it does it too easily at the moment. It should be doing a lot more stuff on device, simple stuff, and it's passing it on to ChatGPT because it links in with it. Yeah. Matt, serious question. What's artificial intelligence got to do with gaming or hardware gaming tech? I got him there. He's screwed. No, listen, I love talking about Apple Intelligence. It just cracked.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Where's the link? I love all this shit. Tech news as well. Well, it could be used. It could be used for gaming if Apple Apple are not using it for that, but they could.
They're not at all. No, they're pretty much is to do with productivity rather than anything else. So they haven't actually looked at that bit. I think it's more of a personal assistant that's more simplified.
Yeah, actually useful. Well, she's more useful. She's got context as well. She sounds human. And I was playing about. So it isn't quite available yet. There's something called Image Playground.
Yeah,
where I can literally make a custom picture by typing in certain things like grey. Looking 20 years old, wearing a sombrero in his hat and a gin and tonic in his hand, and it'll put it all together, right? And then it's got on the 16, I think it's got the.
Here's what I found.
It's got Google Lens, basically a fancy version of Google Lens, where you can literally put the camera up to something and it'll tell you what it is. And the useful thing, I can't wait, and I think it's available. I haven't tried it yet. Genmoji. This is brilliant. You know
That's
emojis.
good.
Wait,
you know the
wait.
emojis, yeah?
A Genmoji? What is that?
A Genmoji. So it is an emoji, right? But for example, I think of a silly example off the top of my head. If you've ever wanted to see a cheeseburger wearing a baseball cap, you can have one now. You can literally
create your own emojis.
You literally write
off the bat.
cheeseburger with hat, and it'll put a tiny little emoji with a cheeseburger and a hat on top of it, or a crocodile surfing on the waves or something. You know, it could do random shit, which is funny. Lots of other stuff.
So you basically type in what you want it to look like, and then it'll make it or something.
Within reason.
Yeah.
It takes a while to do it. Yeah.
So if I typed in pisser fisser, would it?
Would it show Trev?
It'll show Trev. There you go.
You're very lucky it's Gray holding the buttons and controlling it tonight, because you'd be Graham Norton, red button, you'd be gone.
We like these nights because it's Comedy Fest night.
Well, there's plenty of content. I tell you that much. I've already got a couple of clips of mine.
Well, first of all, you're the one to blame, because you came up with the pisser thing. If you hadn't done that,
no, it's your fault. It is your fault.
Digital Foundry. I took it from them.
Yeah, but
it was John.
Everybody else is going PSSR. You're going pisser.
No, John from Digital Foundry said it, and the boys
did come up with the first
thing.
It's brilliant.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's like
onwards.
We had a stadium over here one time. I think it was hockey, and a company bought it for advertising purposes, and I can't remember the exact name.
Hey Siri, can you go get me another drink, please?
But the problem was the name of the company began with 2 P's. So what they did is they put the name up, but the way it looked above the stadium was PP Park. Everybody was making fun of it. It was hilarious. It was like,
right. Onwards and upwards, right. Mr. Matt.
So the displays they have and connectivity, they have the Liquid Retina XDR display available in the 14-inch and the 16-inch models, with a new nano texture option to reduce glare. Yeah, so there you go. So you don't need to forfeit and pay out a little extra for any screen protectors that do give you that privacy thing. It's kind of there. So
I wouldn't be surprised if that does cost more, Matt.
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm. So as you said, the Thunderbolt 5 available from the M4 Pro and the M4 Max models for faster and better speeds and advanced connectivity. There you go.
Excellent.
So the center stage camera is upgraded to a 12 megapixel camera that keeps you centered in the video calls and supports desk view. 12 megapixels.
How does that work?
That's the same, isn't it?
How does desk view? That, you know, the camera's like in front of you like this. It's not pointing down, but it's pointing out the way. Yeah, it looks like it's a top-down camera. How the? All I can think, Matt, is, do you know what a short throw projector is? Do you know what a short throw projector is? Is it the same thing as that?
It kind of does that.
It throws it up?
Yeah. So pretty much, if I go to the side on this side, you'll see. There you go. Riverside will move me to the center
River
each
Island's
time.
a good shop. I recommend their jeans. River Island is a clothing shop, It's a clothing shop.
Like Friday sales. There you go. Yeah. So it does help. It kind of centers you each time. So if you move, it'll center you again.
What's doing that? Is it Riverside? Does Riverside do that? No, it's not doing it for me.
Is it not? It does it for me.
It's your camera.
Is it? I've got a Mac 4. Sorry.
Okay. Your camera might make you look like Casper the Ghost, but at least it tracks you.
Yeah,
something needs to.
You need to be gotten. So we're going to track you from now on. We're going to put one under your skin so we can tell you where you are all the time.
Yeah. Trump will chase me down the road. There you go. So, the availability of the new MacBook Pro models with the M4 lineup is available to pre-order and will be shipping. The
Pisser Fisser will be shipping too anytime now.
Yeah. November the 8th. So there you go. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
And the last thing, Mr. Matt, the most important thing?
No, I haven't finished yet because I've put my mini Mac. I put the specs for it down because I like the mini Mac.
Okay. The Mac Mini even. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Mini Mac mates. All right.
What happened to EGX, Mr. Matt?
Well, let's do that. So, EGX.
I'd really like to know, in all seriousness.
Yeah, so it was absolutely hopeless. From Scotland kept shitting himself.
Literally.
Yeah, both ends.
Yeah.
Both ends said, yeah.
So what you're saying is EGX was garbage? What?
How ill did I look, Matt? Like Jansen said, I looked
did look really
awful.
You did. You look worse than I do.
I went back home and normally my mother said, you actually don't even look white now, you look grey. And I went, don't compare me to that guy in Florida. I'm way more handsome than him when I'm ill. No chance. My partner was really, really bad.
Yeah. Even you would have fit in with the Addams family really well. Let's just put it that way.
I was gutted, man. So, I paid to come down. Actually, work paid for it. There was 2 halls at the Excel Centre in London. There was Comic-Con to the left. There was
Jokers
EGX
to the right.
I could see them. I could see the events there, but I was dying on a table in the middle. He
was not in a well position. Yeah, poor fella. Yeah.
Gutted me. What was it? Tell me, what kind of stalls were there? Was there any cool shit you got? Events, things you got to play? What?
I gotta tell you, the first thing that we walked into was Star Wars Outlaws. And as soon as I saw it, I wanted to go there and give him the old slap across the face.
Did they ignore you just like the AI?
Yeah. They kept walking into their own board. So it was disgraceful. So what I didn't realize at the time, which I've forgotten because I haven't been since one they did in Birmingham.
Birmingham.
On the 3 days, they show games and they have the stalls and they have their live events as well. So I was walking around with Scythe and Jansen as well. Yeah. While your man down there was shitting himself left, right, and center.
See when I got home later that night, Matt, I properly
the scooters.
It was everything in my stomach came out, water and stuff all day, man. I think it was something I ate the day before, like food poisoning. I had a steak at the hotel.
Oh, never have a steak at the hotel. Why would you do such a thing?
Mm-hmm.
God, even I don't do that. Man. Yeah. Raging. Oh, sue that. So
was EGX then just the equivalent of Insomnia's like trade festival thing next door, not the LAN? You've been to the thing next door, Matt, haven't you? Where it's just the stalls and stuff at Insomnia, haven't you?
Yeah. So pretty much. We had a look around. We said, we'll start on one side, on the left side. We'll go through all that, through the gaming thing, see what there was. And I was not impressed at all. I mean, half the games they have shown were games that were already out, already been played for months already, including Outlaws, which I was shocked that they were there because of how awful it was. And I think I actually went up to them and I said, are you sure you're in the right place? Because I'm sure the bins are outside. Do you want to fix yourself?
What were you doing all day then, man, if it was that shit?
I
know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, you dirty little boy. You were perving on the bloody cosplay chicks from the Comic-Con.
Nah, they were too fast for me. They kept running. So let's just say with the games that were out, the ones that were kind of new coming out, they didn't have a playable game. It was just little trailers showing on a screen, which is a bit of a shame. It was a big shame. So because I was annoyed at that, myself, Scythe, and Jansen went around the stalls.
So Matt, was it just like a glorified LAN party then? That's what it sounds like.
Minus the LAN party. There was no party there at all.
Insomnia before was very different. It had the LAN party, which is what you think it is. And then the next hall it was more of a trade event. So there were stalls going up and down, selling stuff, letting you play games, demos, maybe some new games that are not even come out or just come out. It sounds like that's what Matt's describing. I didn't know.
what an EGX normally is you have your game tech, you have your peripherals, new game stuff that are coming out, PCs that will be on show. You'll have games that haven't been released, and there's a playable demos, and you line up and you see all these things because nobody's seen them. Nobody's even seen the trailers, and it's fantastic. That's normally how it is. But you don't get that. There's nothing of that.
So why'd they bother with the show then?
Yeah, it was shocking. Yeah. Wow. So I think the only things that were good about it was the stalls. There were so many stalls from artwork, book work, the live show things was brilliant.
What did you buy? Do you remember what the boys bought?
They bought everything. So they bought little. Yeah. So they bought a few wee drinks that were on show.
Just a few.
Bought a few. Yeah, just a few. There was a few pop.
Hanson got a Funko Pop. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, Funko Pop. Yeah, that's it. Yes, yeah. They bought as well a few figurines. Yeah, pictures.
What did you buy?
I didn't buy anything.
You tight arse.
I am. But yeah, I had other things I had to pay for.
Wait,
so, yeah.
I want to know why I just said my eyes kept wandering.
Well, because of the cosplay, man. Have you ever seen?
Yes.
My eyes were wandering as well, and I was ill. That kept
there was
me going.
Many things wandering.
I was like, that goes where? Really? Wow. Skills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow, everybody's got a tail. How did they get that stuck in there?
Is that right? Ubisoft pulled out from EGX. They were supposed to have a demo for the new Assassin's Creed game, but they realised it was shit, and Gray wasn't going to be there to see it, so they pulled out.
Yeah.
I was going to fly over, but so.
Yeah, so I was a bit fed up with the whole thing, other than walking around looking up cosplay. I mean, the stalls. So I think there were some sites there. Jesus,
when did you guys leave then? Because I left after
6
lunchtime.
Yeah, we left at 6.
You were there all day. It can't be that shit.
I couldn't walk anymore.
Wait a minute. It was a garbage show.
I was like Forrest Gump at the end.
Comic-Con. They were perving on the chicks. They were perving on the girls. You dirty.
It was the only thing going. Yeah, sometimes we had to wonder.
Where's the pictures?
But,
they're there
somewhere.
Wait a minute. Yeah. So I said when I knew I was about to leave early to go home, I actually got my work to pay for an upgrade to go home sooner because I wasn't due to leave until 8:00 at night. And I was like, I need to go. And I said to Jansen, boys, get some pictures in or something for the Discord. And did the hell. Hopeless. 3 of them. Including you,
We didn't get the message until afterwards because there was hardly any good reception there.
You should have had some cosplay pictures. Jeez.
Yeah, we'll save that for the bank. But then,
referee.
Yeah, so I was livid about this whole thing. So I went off to the site and I was like, "Where's everything else?" Because everybody's talking about Black Ops 6 and all that stuff. And of course, those 3 days. If you don't go for the whole 3 days, you will miss out because they split different games to come in at different days. So Black Ops 6 was there on Saturday along with other things, including Tekken 6 tournaments and everything. So yeah, we should have gone for the 3 days so we could see everything.
Because it was shit in that one day. So like doing it for 2 more days on top of that.
Yeah, but there's different things showing on those different days, which I didn't realize. So you'd have other things.
Would you change it about enough to make it worth your while for the money you're paying, Matt,
No. I mean, if they did the whole weekend for 40 quid, then maybe I would have done that.
It's not cheap.
3 days, if it's inclusive.
It's not cheap.
No, it's like 34, 35 pounds per day. And that's for the to get in early, which is pointless because we had to go around zigzagging around everywhere. There was no signs in the place. It was awful. Trying to get into the place. One person was saying one thing, another person was saying another thing. You didn't know where you're going. You ended up with your tits that way, your arse that way, and God knows what else. So it was awful show. It was terrible, mismanaged.
Okay, you're not selling it for next year.
No, it's a shame. I remember Birmingham was perfect. Yeah.
Well, if you go next year, go the second and third day and forget the first.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we should do.
If the boys went again, they would maybe do that, to be fair. Right, I'm conscious of the time. So we will crack on. Gray, who I tried to steal the thunder from Matt by jumping in the gun, was going to carry on the Intel conversation we had a short while ago about a little merger maybe happening by Uncle Sam and Mr. Trump now.
I was a little shocked to see this thing, but I didn't realize how much Intel has actually lost. Apparently, the Intel has lost $16.3 billion. That's a B. $16.3 billion dollars in one. Wait! Not for the year. Not for the year. For one quarter.
What's their percentage down though? What is that of their overall stock value? Is that like a 10% thing? It might not be as much as you think.
Bad. It's bad. And remember, that's a quarter. That means 3 months. That's a lot to lose in only 3 months. So they're obviously having trouble. They've been having trouble. And the U.S. government is basically thinking, they're not doing it yet, but they're thinking about suggesting to them that they should maybe possibly merge with AMD.
Who says AMD want this?
So
they're doing well.
But they're not. They're still not as big as Intel. But you can imagine if they did merge, though, that would be kind of interesting. AMD would essentially be bailing out Intel, and then Intel will be able to bring all their processes to bear. Could be interesting.
What's useful about that, Ray? AMD do not make their own chips. They design them. They don't make them.
Right.
They usually go to TSMC. Intel are a fab. They make their own chips. So I don't think that would happen. AMD are doing fine. A government can't make two companies come together. I don't recall Intel or AMD ever saying we would like to join up because they're not mortal enemies kind of thing. They have worked on standards before, but it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, but remember, it's not over here. It's not a matter of whether they want to or not. It's a matter of if Intel is doing that bad, a couple of things would have to happen. Either the U.S. government would have to bail them out with cash, okay, or they would have to strongly say to them, you should merge with AMD or somebody. Now, Qualcomm, they said, is also looking at it.
Yes.
And a couple other, and even Apple's looking at it, the rumor is. So, it may not end up being AMD. It would probably be a better idea to go with AMD, but who knows? So the point is that if the losses and things that they've been having up to this point, and this being a huge loss, then the government's going to go, look, we don't really want to bail you out with cash. We got enough problems, but maybe you should merge with one of these guys. What do you think?
We've seen this before, Gray, and Matt can confirm this. Quite a number of years ago in the UK, RBS, which is the Royal Bank of Scotland, which despite having Scotland in the title is actually a UK-wide bank, they almost went tits up. They were basically naive with their money, stupid, reckless. They spent an absolute fortune and they were going down the pan quick. The government had to come in and bail them out and literally own some of the bank because they had to. There was mortgages tied up, there was savings, there was pensions, all that kind of stuff. They couldn't let them completely go to the wall. So the US government having to jump in and maybe bail them out is a possibility. Now, again, I'm going to have to double down on what I said before. There has been no rumour or want or interest out there of AMD wanting to join Intel or the other way about. They could suggest it, but AMD might be like, no, you're good. We're doing all right on our own, actually. We don't want we don't want to be carrying a dead horse in our back, which is essentially Intel.
Well, yeah, but then again, and I've seen this happen before, the government could also say, look, if you merge with Intel, we'll make things a little easier for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And believe me, then they would light up a little bit and go like, okay, maybe. Can
you imagine, though? I mean, the thing is, right, AMD and Intel are the two biggest at what they do, right? I know Qualcomm are getting up there quick. They're the two biggest at what they do. Joining them both together on a normal day would never happen. The competition authorities in every major country wouldn't allow it to happen. Just look what happened with Microsoft and Activision. The regulators in the UK and the US, especially the UK, were fighting for that not to happen because you're too powerful. So that's exactly what would happen if this merger went together between those two. But the difference is you've got TSMC who make the chips. They're a fab, they don't design them. You've got Samsung. I think they make their own chips as well. They're a fab and they're a designer as well, but they're not the major player in the market. And you've got Qualcomm. Qualcomm design the chips, they don't make them. And just to make it clear to people that don't know, like Apple, there's a good example. They do not make chips. They design them in-house, and then they literally give the design to these... If you've ever watched documentaries on how they make the fabrication machines for chips, oh my God, they are... It's fascinating. These machines alone, working on wavelengths that you didn't even think existed of light, and they are hundreds of millions of dollars just for one machine. And it's a company in the Netherlands that make them. So we need to thank the Dutch a lot, not just for Goldmember, because he was pretty cool from Austin Powers, but we need to thank them for the fabrication machines as well. That's getting clipped. So maybe it would be allowed to go ahead, Gray, because you've still got separate companies and fabrication companies out there. It wouldn't be eating up all the competition.
So now we have to think of a name, Intel and AMD. So like Amtel, or
I like that. Amtel,
or in AMD.
I'm not very good at what's the game? What's the game where you have to take letters out of a word and make up another? It's not charades. What's the game?
It's anagram, I think.
Anagrams. Yeah. I'm awful at that shit.
Something like really that. Well, it definitely isn't a pisser. We know that.
So you like that, son, don't you? You like that, right? Okay, we'll move on, ladies and gents. I have got 2 video clips I'm going to play, and I think I'll get away with this. The first one is about new Enshrouded content, which I'm very excited about. Yay. Matt, have you played? Have you got this game? Have you played it? Did you play it with us? I don't recall you playing that with us.
No.
Oh, you ought to play it, Matt. You would love this game. So good.
I don't know. It seems like I don't know. It's something like about that. It's just like no to me.
Matt, it's like one's human but not shit.
Nah. It's all Chinese to me. I don't know.
You'll have
That's
to,
one's human, mate. Well done. I see you done there. Anyway, right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share this clip here. It's their official trailer for the new update, which I'm actually really, really excited about. Because it kind of looks shit hot. This is what happens when you have too many clips open, people. It's about 1:50 long, and it will show you what's coming up in the game. There we go.
Flameborn. Your legend echoes throughout this land, in the earth and stone of Embervale. From ashen soil, you've carved sanctuary. A bastion against the shroud. Your flame breathes new life into the world. Yet as life returns, death follows. New dangers and enemies of old threaten our very survival. Will you remain and continue to shape this land? Or will you seek out these new horizons? Whatever you decide, Flameborn, you must not falter. Your flame grows strong, but so too does its shadow.
This looks really, really good. This is out now. The new free DLC from Enshrouded, Souls of the Frozen Frontier, and it is the expansion of the map, weather mechanics. We're in the mountains, the cold now. Now, I think we'll get away with this here because there's not really much music in it, and it's courtesy of the official Enshrouded YouTube channel. It is over 4 minutes long, but to be fair, it's actually worth watching and playing because it actually talks about the new features and mechanics in the game, and there's a lot of audio as well, so the people listening will actually appreciate this as well. So let me play this, boys.
Greetings, Flameborn. We're thrilled to introduce Enshrouded's biggest update yet, Souls of the Frozen Frontier. Let's dive in. First up, the Albany Summits, a massive new snow biome that towers above the world as the highest peak on the map. This frozen landscape is home to breathtaking vistas, daunting peaks, and new settlements that tell the story of the ancient civilization that once lived here. The Albany Summits bring with them fresh new challenges as new enemies and fauna await. This biome transfers the way you approach combat and survival. Its frozen beauty is more than just a visual change. It deeply impacts gameplay, making every decision in its harsh environment critical. Along with the Albany Summits, we're introducing a completely new weather system. This dynamic system brings the world to life with changing weather throughout the day. But it's not just the snow. Rainstorm sweeps across the regions of Ambervale, adding to the immersion and making the world feel more alive than ever before. Speaking of bringing the world to life, let's talk about the new threats you'll face. We are introducing new scavenger enemies with fire-focused attacks from the flamethrower scavenger and the whip-wielding champion, who not only attacks but buffs allies. You will also encounter a new variation of the foe you already know, the Cyclops. This massive male brute roams caves, and his corrupted version can be found in the Shroud, ready to challenge even the most seasoned players. Speaking of Shroud, keep an eye on the new Fogger Sporehead Mage. And of course, we've added new wildlife and their new variations, including the mountain yak, snow leopard, and a mountain goat. Now, let's move on to a complete revamp of NPCs. Your crafting NPCs can now roam freely around your base, following daily routines. At night, they will seek out beds you assign them to sleep in, so you can create dedicated living quarters for your survivors. Their happiness is now tied to having a sheltered bed, so be sure to take care of their needs. After all, they're working for free. We've also introduced assistant crafting NPCs who can be found throughout the world and be placed in secondary bases, giving you access to crafting recipes without having to move your main NPCs. But that is not all. We are also introducing townsfolk to make your bases feel more alive. These NPCs can be found and rescued around the world and come with quests, dialogue and interactions. Enshrouded is about restoring a kingdom, and these are your first subjects. And now let's talk about something you have been all asking for: animal farming. You can now tame and capture wildlife, bringing them back to your base. Once there, they will produce resources like wool, milk, eggs and feathers, as long as they're fed and sheltered. Animals can breed and produce offspring, and yes, you can even pet the baby animals. Pets are also making their way into your base. Cats and dogs can now be tamed, roaming freely in your settlement. They don't provide resources, but will give you buffs when petted. And with 5 coats for dogs and cats, there's a good chance your pet in-game will look like your pets in real life. Moving on to miscellaneous stuff. We're increasing the max player level to 35, and the flame can be upgraded twice to help you venture into the new deadly shroud zones. You will also be able to unlock new weapons, new armor sets, and a reward glider system, and also ice as a terrain block, which will let you have fun sliding across frozen surfaces and perhaps put you on a collision course. The grappling hook has also been enhanced. It can now pull flying enemies towards you or launch you into the combat against larger foes. In order to use the new grappling hook mechanic, you will have to unlock it in the skill tree. Finally, we've added new building materials and furniture to keep your creative side busy, from polished granite and obsidian to icy terrains and luxurious furniture sets. Your base building possibilities have never been greater. But wait, there is more. Like, actually a lot more. too much to cover here, so check the full patch notes linked in the description. We hope you enjoyed everything that Update 4 has to offer, from the Albany summits to the dynamic weather and bustling townsfolk. This update is about making the world of Enshrouded bigger and livelier than ever before. On that note, we'll see you in the next one.
Boys,
I'm gonna.
what do we think?
I've played the game, so I can't wait. So,
because I think the thing that was putting me off a lot was just having NPCs in your base just standing there, not actually doing anything, and it just
That's what
annoyed
Conan
me.
Exiles is all about.
No, these guys do other things in Conan. You go tell them to do this, that, and the other. They go off and they train up things. They do stuff. They dance around. They show the tallies. You know,
it's nice having the NPCs actually look like they're alive instead of just standing there.
Yeah, absolutely. And having animals that you can actually farm and do things with, that's kind of added quite a few things where that was lacking when I was first looking at it. And I was just like, nah, you know. But now, you know, it's not looking too bad. It's not looking too shabby.
It's great. It's not 1.0 yet. I think it's still early access, which means, Matt, you potentially would get it still cheap on Steam. We got it for I think it was like £22 something for me, like $25 for Grey, because it was early access and a discount at the start. And I'm telling you right now, so far, we've only, 7 weeks of the year to go. Jesus Christ, 7 years. 7 weeks of the year to go. That's impressive.
7 weeks in a year? Damn,
this is the game of the year for me. This is the game of the year for me so far. Nothing's beat that yet. What about you, Gray? We will do a special end of year games of stuff, of course, but at Christmas.
Dragon Age, the Veilguard might beat it, but it's going to be up there either way. I mean,
you barely touched it already. How could you say that?
Because I'm telling you, I could just tell just from playing it so far. It's playing like it's just good. Let's just put it that way.
Wow.
And I only played a little bit of it. So, and it's been getting accolades across the board everywhere.
Yes, £20 at the moment.
Oh, Matt, listen, that's the cheapest it's ever been. I paid £22. You need to pull the trigger, mate. It will never go cheaper than that. That is very good price. Farming Simulator 25 releases this month.
25?
Wow.
What they put out? Is this like 25 years old or what?
No, 2025. They always do that a couple of months ahead.
Yeah.
So I pulled the trigger, Mr. Matt. So it's out just now. That DLC is out now. It's only on PC at the moment. It's not even 1.0. It's the most polished early access game I've ever played. Great value. I highly, highly recommend that. Gray and I are big fans of it, so I'll be getting into play that, I think.
What about the co-op side of it? Sorry.
The what
you
side?
If I'm right in saying, you can remind me more, Gray, but you can build bases together and beside one another and whatnot. But in terms of completing missions, I don't remember if it's a joint mission or I don't think there's a party leader system. Can you remember, Gray?
No, I don't remember.
I don't think you can. I think you do your separate missions.
The thing that's great about the game is it definitely is more original than anything that's come out, and it's made by a small company with only a handful of people. And the price was very fair for what you're getting. And one of the things that I like, because I'm not into. I know some people are like amazing builders and they can build all kinds of wild stuff. But the thing that I really liked about the game a lot was that there is dilapidated buildings or all over the game. Some look better than others, and you can go in there and make it your base and just repair it a little bit, and boom, you got a place. So for me, who doesn't like to really build much, I just found a nice place with a farm, which was perfect because I could plant whatever I wanted. And I just kind of repaired a couple things, and that was it.
Are you noticing a trend? Are you noticing a trend? Small studio, not many people make an excellent game. Enshrouded. Small studio, not many people make another excellent game. Valheim.
Yep.
I'm just saying, people these big ball studios often churn out something which is actually pretty average for the amount of time, money, and personnel they spend. Green Hell, yeah, Matt, another cracking example.
That's fantastic.
Can't choose between Green Hell and Medieval Dynasty for the most polished early access game I've ever played, the Gasbeer. Now, Green Hell was very polished when it came out. Never finished it yet. Excellent.
Yeah.
The Dynasty, I've not played it, so I can't comment on it. But I'll take your word for it, mate. Definitely. I know we won't get through all this news, man. Wow, we've hit a hell of a lot. So the other one thing, two little subplots there. Obviously, Hogwarts Legacy, we knew this game, very popular game. It surprised Warner Brothers how well it actually done. It's sold over 30 million units. Grace played it. Matt, have you played it?
I played it.
No, I am a wizard.
No. It's something about grown men playing with wands. It's just wrong. I don't know what it is. Give me a gun. They've sold over 30 million copies, so safe to say Hogwarts Legacy 2 is a huge priority.
Sure.
It's actually going to tie in with an HBO owned by Warner Brothers. Going to tie in with a new Harry Potter TV series. Now, that makes sense because Legacy 2 will be in production already, more than likely. And we know in Hollywood these days it takes them years to get anything off the ground when it comes to TV shows. So that sounds about right. I'm not really a Harry Potter fan. I've never seen the movies. I know, shock horror. So it wasn't for me, but I can appreciate the quality of the game, of the franchise. I mean, a lot of people maybe not aware of this, but a lot of it is based in Edinburgh, where I live, because the author actually lives in Edinburgh. J.K. Rowling, she actually lives in Edinburgh a lot of times. She's got a house here. I know the cafes that she's wrote some of the books on. Yeah, a lot of it's set about London as well. It's got similar kind of architecture. So I like that aspect of it, that it's based on Edinburgh and London somewhat. So that the new game will blow it out the water, and I'm sure the new TV show will blow it out the water as well. When that'll come, we don't know. 2026. If they get a polished game of Legacy 2 for 2026, I'll be surprised. No way. These games take years.
Yeah, but to be honest,
the end of 2026.
They most likely have already been working on the game. And if a lot of things are going to take place near the castle or the school, whatever, some of that's already been done, so they can just reincorporate the. So there's things that can be. It's things that they can already have done that'll make it faster.
Well, great. They released the first one in February 2023, right? Say they release the new game in 2026, but say it's towards the end of 2026, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 3.5 years with assets that you're reusing. Now that might sound bad, but it's not really. Look at Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. They look similar, but there's a lot more to Tears of the Kingdom as well, and that took Nintendo years. So
first of all, even the Hogwarts school in the game is so much larger than what I played in the game. So there's still all kinds of things. Plus, there's all kinds of secret chambers and this and that. So and if you like that kind of game and you like the lore like I do, then it's fun. So that part will be. It's not going to seem like it's old. I mean, what are you going to do? Build a new castle? I mean, it's part of the game. I mean, it has to stay that way. If you try to, hypothetically knock it down and build a new one, everybody will go, no. What are you doing? That would destroy the game.
How did they go again, Griff?
Yeah, that one. No.
Marta, you're a dick. You're a dick. Right, Mr. Gray. So the gaming news continues. There is more.
Yeah. And if we run out of time, that's fine. We can push it off. But anyway, I had to go into this one. It's a rather long article, so I'll try to cut it down. But basically, the article basically states is a quote from one of the devs at Bethesda, and they were talking about Starfield, and he says, "We didn't have to start from the ground up." He was trying to defend Starfield. It's nothing like Elder Scrolls, and he thinks they need a reality check. And I'm like, yeah, they do. So as I started kind of going into it, it's stuff that we've been covering here on the podcast for as far as Starfield is concerned. We were underwhelmed with it, but the thing that's the worst about it is that it looks old, even though it's new. And I think the updates, which we were hoping might pick up the game and start to make it better, has not really panned out either. And I think the way the article is talking, and I believe it, is that essentially he thinks that a lot of these Bethesda devs are delusional, which is a strong word, but it's true. So they were talking about how they believe that the title represents the studio's most innovative work yet. I'm like, really? They claim that it's fresh IP, separate from all the previous titles. It's only fresh IP in the terms of the general story and the name of it. That's it. Otherwise, everything else is. I'd rather go back and play Skyrim, with a few mods loaded in. It's a much better game,
fresher.
than Starfield. So when I don't understand how they see how bad it's doing, and they're going to come out and say like, well, it's it's one of the greatest things they've ever done, and you watch, it's going to keep on getting better. And I'm like, where are they coming from here? Essentially, most people think that they've been milking everything, for at least 2 decades, as they state here, which makes sense and sounds true. A lot of people are saying it lacks the Bethesda magic when the stuff they used to pump out was good, etc. And it just seems like they're not really respecting our intelligence. I mean, we may not be a developer, but we can know what makes a good game. And the hype on this thing, they're lucky their hype was so good because they sold a lot of copies, so they didn't go bankrupt on one game, so to speak. So they're very, very lucky that the promo, the promotion for it worked. But since that point, nothing has really worked for it. It's not that you can't have some fun with the game. I'm not trying to say that, but for the money you paid and for what they hyped on the game, they're like in La La Land. I mean, it's just, I was really shocked. I was seeing things that were coming out of the archaic Skyrim when it first came out, and NPCs that stick right up to your face, that don't have much expression, that don't really walk around much, or if they do walk around, they look like they're mannequins and stuff like this, and it looks just like they created the game 15 years ago. And it's just like, well, what? Companies like that are going to go underground.
It wasn't great.
Say again, sorry?
It wasn't great when it came out. You're right.
It's still not good.
No, it's better. It's a lot better, but it's not perfect. Far from it.
I don't even think it's a lot better, to be honest. I go back and look at it. The NPCs and whatnot, the people you're dealing with, still look the same.
Still doing the same thing.
Old. Yeah. I mean, the models are really old, and it just reeks of oldness. So even if there's something new in a storyline, that's fine. But the thing is, I'm not playing it just for that. I want to play it because it has to look better too. But when you're sitting there, just, it's almost like saying like, well, we just birthed a new game, and by the way, here's what it looks like, and they use my picture instead of some young guy or whatever.
I'll put you off your dinner.
Yeah. So and you wonder why, or no, I don't wonder why AAA game companies are having problems. Of course. I mean, because this is garbage. And then when you turn around and you see people pumping out stuff like Enshrouded, Even Once Human, and a couple of these other games, I don't care if the AAA company puts out another good game. With the possible exception of Assassin's Creed, I don't care. I don't care anymore. Just pump out games like I've been seeing.
Assassin's Creed? What's that?
Yeah, exactly. What's that? But like I said, it's fine. Let the AA companies go to the wayside and just have these other people just pump the games out. I have not played Axis Unseen yet, and I do want to play it. And it's getting some good reviews, and that was one guy. One guy built the whole game.
That's like Stardew Valley guy. Like, it's amazing what people can do on their own, actually.
Oh, no, it is. But you're talking Stardew Valley, and I know a lot of people like the game, but the graphics aren't anything wonderful as far as I'm concerned. But
graphics aren't everything great.
No, I didn't say I'm not saying that. You're correct. But what I'm saying is, look at Axis Unseen. The graphics are much different and more modern. And it's just like, wow.
Call that up. I don't have controls. Mock yourself by calling up that last comment. You stumbled a little bit when you said it. Assassin's Creed.
Anyway, I just I get on the soapbox, but I just hate when they sit there and don't do anything new or anything even nearly innovative, and stuff. It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's the.
Well, now you know why Microsoft want to take the new Fallout game away from Bethesda and get someone else to make it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Absolutely, yeah.
Microsoft has got to be sitting there going like, man, we bought Bethesda and now this garbage came out. I mean, I guarantee you, if it had come out and they lost a lot of money with that because the promotion, again, the hype was so high, they made money at the front end. If they hadn't made money at the front end, Microsoft would be really PO'd by now.
Oh, I haven't even bought their DLC. They've got one DLC out with another one coming at some point. So I haven't bought that because I haven't played the game briefly since the start.
When they finish putting out the DLC, let's say a year from now, and the game is markedly better, I'll play it then. But until then, I don't care. You know, and that's not the way you do games. That's not the way you make money. You lose people by that time. So people might go back to the game after a couple of DLCs and go like, well, it's much better now. I says, yeah, but I'm on to something else now. The hell with it. I mean, you got to hit while the iron's hot, man. Not later, you know, and stuff.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Crazy, man. Anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't even bother buying the DLCs after looking at the game and the way it is. I'd just be like, I'd rather spend my money elsewhere on a game that actually does look good and actually does perform the way it should do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you guys want to, I can skip right to the gaming quiz.
No, you can do your next news article because you seem to forget something really important about that, Gray.
I know it's important in the next article.
No, do you? No, not that. I'm talking about running on Alarmo, Nintendo's new alarm clock. I did post that.
Yeah.
Remember?
Nintendo has a new alarm clock?
Yeah, you don't pay attention.
Scythe has been waiting for that to be mentioned. Yeah,
it's a fancy alarm clock that's got like radar and stuff built into it, so it can scan when you're moving about in bed and wake you up with like Mario music and all that stuff. It's a waste of time, but it's selling at hotcakes. But someone's hacked it to run Doom on the front screen. Brilliant, brilliant.
Well, the whole thing with Doom is that how many things it runs on. So now it's a contest of whatever comes out. How about the one that ran it on a bunch of potatoes, a potato run calculator or something like that? I'm going like no.
Yeah,
and I'm sitting there going, wow, that's like crazy. But I'm thinking about saving that article till next time because it really has to do with AI, and I want to get into that again.
Okay, we'll save it then. We'll save it. We'll get Yeah, Matt, I mean, if you want, you can probably briefly mention your hardware tech news, but then I'm also looking at tech news and I'm thinking, what's that got to do with gaming tech? I mean, we're
go with the graphics.
I mean, if you put it like that.
Well, Matt, why don't you do the one on the Sonos, and then we'll go into the quiz, and that'll be good, and then everything else we'll save till next time.
Yeah.
Talk about the Sonos.
All right, so the Sonos have released a new soundbar, the Arc Ultra, which has received very positive early reviews, but sometimes they do that anyways. Sonos is brilliant. The sound quality is pretty much up there. I know quite a few people who work in sound actually use Sonos rather than Bose or any other software there, or audio equipment, I should say. It's brilliant for its enhanced bass and overall sound quality. I think we have a link there just in case. So it's selling from $999. I didn't even look up and that's just the basic model that it has. You can link it to a subwoofer and other sound audios if you want to. It's quite good. I like the look of it. It's more of a rounded rather than what you normally technically have, which is a big flat bar that sits at the bottom of your screen, and you get pretty much flat sounds from it. This one is more rounded. It looks good. It comes in 2 colors. You get the white and you get the black, which is standard, of course.
There's a picture.
Yeah. It has loads of built-in, what do they call them? Speakers. shroud around the bar on the inside. It looks good. I was quite interested in that, and I was like, you know what? I could do with one of those for my TV and for my gaming when I fed up of wearing headsets and all that stuff. It'd be good to have that down. Yeah.
I'm glad. I know I joked and I poked fun for you mentioning this, but I'm kind of glad you did, actually, because Trev's just moved into a new gaff, a new flat, and it's a small space. It's a studio flat to maximise the space. So I'm looking for a new kind of cinema setup, a new TV sound setup, right? Don't have much space. I mean, literally, you can't really see it. My bed's in the ceiling. It's a floating bed. It's nuts. I have to take off backgrounds and stuff to show you, so I won't do that.
And it has a lot of problems when it doesn't float anymore. It hits him right in the head.
It floats, man. It's like a ghost bed. I've got limited space, so that I have to literally have one of two things, boys. I have to have a projector screen, pulls down. In fact, I'll have it mechanically come down. Let's not, it'd be cool. Coming down and back up. And you have speakers that can go behind certain projector screens and actually transmit the sound through it. It's actually pretty cool. Or the other option, which is high tech, is a mount on the ceiling with the TV attached to it. So when the TV is stowed, it's flush against the ceiling, and then it comes down mechanically like that. That is expensive, though, right?
Very expensive, yeah.
That problem is, though, I can't fit a full surround sound system in that, because my couch will be at the back when it's delivered tomorrow, right? And back speakers would be flush with my ears, not behind me.
Yeah.
So that defeats the purpose of surround. So I see something like this, Matt, and I was saying this, you know, the shop Richer Sounds. You might have heard of them, Matt, in the UK.
Yeah,
they've got a branch in Edinburgh. I was in talking to them the other day. They're going to come out to my place next week to actually look at the space to see what I can do with it. And they said, well, actually, surround sound system might not be for you, Trevor, but maybe you can get a sound bar that's really good. Like it won't match a surround sound system, but it'll get close. And I see something like this, Matt, and I'm thinking, that might be a shout, mate.
It's small, it's slim, it doesn't take a lot of room by the looks of it. And if you scroll down, you'll see the innards of this device and where they put in the audio systems. It looks really nice.
Question, Matt. Is this one of the first ones that has the Dolby Atmos?
No. Dolby Atmos have been there for a while.
No.
So Sonos are a premium. Sony are like the Gucci of the speaker world. You could get a soundbar like that with most, if not all, of its features for cheaper. But Sonos is a brand that does it really well. You can hook it up to your phone via AirPlay or Chromecast and play your tunes really, really, really well. It's very good.
Very versatile. Yeah,
I can do that on my soundbar, and I paid $150.
Oh, look at this, man! There's actually a set as well. Look. So
there is,
you're talking about this, Matt.
Oh,
yeah.
So shit, it's just doubled the price.
2,210. Woo!
Yeah.
And that's euros, so that's a lot of dollars. That's even more dollars.
Yeah. There is other things. If you've also got other Sonos products, I think there's like a few ones that have been recently...
900 euros for a sub?
Yeah. But
the whole system was a lot of money together.
Yeah, $2.5 grand. You can connect it to previous versions as well, so you don't have to go all out and buy the brand new stuff. So yeah,
that's silly money. That's silly. I mean, I thought about the bar and maybe a sub, right? Because there is a little sub built into these sound bars, but you want a dedicated one. I couldn't get the full set. I tell you that much. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's went up again.
Oh, no.
Just because you get headphones.
3,055. Wow.
3,000 euros, which is probably at least $3.5. It's probably closer to $4,000.
So from 900 onwards,
Oh my
there you go.
God.
There goes your plans for a 5090. You buy one of those.
Yeah.
No, I can't fucking afford that. Right, we've got just about enough time to do the quiz, boys. What, squeeze that in just now, yeah?
The Gaz said Led Zeppelin didn't pay that much for their stage system.
No, exactly.
Mental, man. Exactly. Ridiculous. Right,
Okay.
It is the Extreme Gaming Podcast quiz, which I'm shit at. Go for it, Mr. Gray.
we're going to go for the quiz since there's 3 of us this time. And it's easier to do with 3 than 2, of course. So I'll read the question off, read it twice actually, and then we'll take some guesses. If anybody out there in the chat world wants to take a guess, you're welcome to it. First question is, what is the name of the American augmented reality developer responsible for Pokemon Go?
Your mom.
Again, what is the name of the American augmented reality developer responsible for Pokemon Go? Any guesses?
I think I know the answer to this one.
Oh, you're looking up on Google. Don't do that.
My hands are here.
It's used as a AI intelligence.
Begins with an N for November. Oh, no.
Namco.
No, Namco. It's not Namco.
Niantic.
It's not Namco. Niantic.
Nerd.
Niantic. It's Niantic. It's Niantic, mate. Yeah.
Niantic? Okay.
Niantic.
Hey, Niantic Labs.
Well, they make Pokemon Go. I didn't know they were augmented reality, but yeah, that makes
Maybe
sense. There's an augmented section in that, so yeah.
There is.
Well, because the game itself is an augmented kind of reality because it
is a little bit.
Yeah, you're dealing with things that are all around you. So real streets, real signs, real cities,
real Pokemon.
But guess what?
Go catch them all.
Wrong. It's a company. It's a company called Zynga.
Zynga.
Zynga. Zynga.
What Zynga? Zynga.
That's why it's a hard question. Zynga.
That's not what it says at the start when you load up the feckin' game. It's Niantic.
No, it's Niantic.
It is. I'll prove
Namco.
it.
Yes, but they said American augmented reality developer, so that means that probably the one that integrated it into the real world. Trick question, maybe.
Yeah. Right, okay, yeah. Screw that.
Nice. All right.
Anyway, all right. So next question. Early versions of this famous game featured a character named Ivan the Space Biker. What was the game? One more time. Early versions of this famous game featured a character named Ivan the Space Biker. What was the game?
I want to say Biker Mice for Mars, but it's Half-Life.
Oh, I'm thinking. Do you know what I'm thinking of, Matt? I'm thinking.
That says Half-Life.
Just reminded me. It reminded me of Biker Grove. Remember that?
Yeah. Biker Grove. Yeah.
Oh, it's a UK TV show. I have no clue. My official answer is your mum.
That's great.
And you're correct.
All I can say is ding, 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 ding. Matt's right. It's Half-Life.
No. What?
I love my Half-Life. Half-Life, baby.
So do
Before they introduced what do you call it? The main guy.
Obviously, you don't.
Who the hell was Ivan the Space Biker? What did he turn into?
I think he turned into the what's his name?
He's a
I forget
bad guy,
the character. The Gary guy. What is it? The whatever his name. I don't know. I can't remember his name.
It's a Gary.
Gary.
Okay. Yeah, calm down, Gary.
Gary?
Right, okay, screw my life. Matt's good at this. I'm shit. Next.
All right, let's see. Last question. Here you go. Airman, Cutman, Ringman, and Drillman are all villains in what video game franchise? One more time. Airman, Cutman, Ringman, Drillman are all villains in what video game franchise?
They all sound
Mega
like
Man.
characters from a porno. That's what they sound like, my man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Mega Man.
That says Mega Man.
Mega Man.
Do you agree?
Well, I'm
Mega
actually
Man.
going to steal Matt's. I'm going to steal.
We heard you.
I'm going to steal Matt's answer because when you hear Drill Man, I do remember this little guy with his little drill hand thing. So yeah, that sounds right to me. I will get credit for it. I know that, but screw it.
Matt says Mega Man, and Scythe in our chat also says Mega Man. And ding, 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 you are correct. Mega Man. Very good, Matt. You got 2 out of 3.
They are good questions. I'll give you that. Great.
It's only because it had man in it. Then I was like, man.
Anything with man, you know.
That's why that question is kind of easy, but if you're not familiar, then it's not that easy.
It's only because I downloaded the skins for Minecraft for my kid the other day. So,
okay.
Yeah,
so they have skins for Mega Man for the
Mega Man. Yeah, they do. They have got Transformers now. I think. Yeah, and Freddy. Five Nights at Freddy's as well. So yeah, it's quite a few.
Ah,
Cool.
all right, okay. Well, listen, that has been an action-packed one. Great.
Yep.
Next week, we're going to have to move it about. We're going to have to move your mod corner up to the top because it's 2 weeks in a feckin' row. There's not been time.
Yeah, we need to move Matt's game.
We need to move it up. It doesn't need to. It doesn't need to be that in order from your gaming news first. You know,
Yeah.
But anyway, listen. Right. So this live on YouTube is going bye-byes when Gray's finished with it, and it will be out soon on audio podcasts and platforms, and a shiny YouTube version of it within 48 hours. I'll say goodbye and thank you to Matt and to Gray and to all you lovely people for watching and listening. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Love you all.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.